Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Milen and I'm a personal stylist. And today we're talking about the body type called soft classic. They're moderate and curvy. Just a quick reminder, I do this for all my videos, but this is not a style. This is a body shape, a frame. So if you don't resonate with the style of these lines, that's okay. Just focus on what I'm talking about in terms of where the clothing sits on your body. Let's jump right in. So you have this body type if you appear to be moderate height, meaning you don't look very tall or really short, but with a dramatic classic, you can look a little bit taller. But for moderate, soft classics, you just look overall moderate. Your arms and legs are of moderate length, meaning in proportion to the rest of your body. They don't look really long or really short in proportion to your torso or even your head. Your shoulders are softly broad, meaning not too broad, not too sharp, and they're not too sloped. Your overall body shape is very proportional. That's for men and women, but with women, they have a soft hourglass, meaning it's not too intense at all. Not like the romantics, and there's not width, like extreme width involved like a soft natural. Your hands and feet will also be pretty moderate, meaning they're not going to be really wide or really long and thin, just moderate. When gaining weight, they tend to gain weight kind of everywhere, and they will become fleshier in the fleshier parts of their bodies. And lastly, the distinguishing factor between them and the dramatic classics is that there is that softness sitting on top in that flesh on the arms, a little bit on the bust, on the hips and the thighs, creating that hourglass. And the flesh is not musculature in any way, and it's not extremely soft and fleshy like a romantic. So it's just a little bit fleshy, just a little bit of softness, a little bit of that curve going on. You're not a soft classic if you appear extremely petite or extremely tall. If you're extremely delicate, if you have straight or angular hips, nope. Or an extreme hourglass shape, like an extreme softness everywhere. For the overall shape that you want to achieve with your outfits, think symmetry. Now, because you don't have any angularity, or not as much as the dramatic classics, you want to go and opt for symmetry more than asymmetry. Since your whole vibe is symmetrical and balanced, you want to mimic that in your outfits. Everything should fit in a moderate way, meaning nothing too extreme in any fashion, meaning like oversized or way too tight. Throwing off your proportions in any weird ways is not going to really look good on a soft classic. And lastly, you always want your waist defined. Define it. And this puts it all together, makes the outfit look in unison. All right, so for tops, you want to aim for rounded necklines. Some drapery, but nothing too extreme. Think more just the softer materials in a slightly tailored sense, but nothing extreme. A light wrap top or wrap sweater, but again, with this body type, this is one of the ones that looks really good with just a little bit of space between you and the clothing. So you don't want anything too super tight. So a very soft wrap top is going to look really good. A rolled collared sweater looks really good, or a more looser, opened turtleneck is going to look really nice, and it kind of just honors that softness all around. For cardigans, you want that softness, again, maybe a rolled collar cardigan or anything with a tie. You got that waist cinched, no, not in any extreme. But if you are tying a cardigan, that's going to look really good. So look for those kinds of cardigans. For sweaters, you kind of want to look for more of a lightweight knit, but good quality, meaning it kind of holds its shape, but there's a bit of that soft edge to it. Light lace details would look really beautiful. Nothing too frilly-lilly, too much, no. And lastly, you want to find tops that stop at the smallest points of your arm. So you want it to gather near your wrists or your elbows, or a slight flow around the softest parts of your arm looks really beautiful. Again, all in moderation, nothing too extreme and nothing too overly flowy, so just keep it tailored with a bit of softness. Always tuck in your shirt or create a waist by a French tuck. When you don't, you actually look messy. Especially men will look very messy, like just they didn't put any effort into it. It makes such a big difference the moment they tuck in even a long sleeve shirt. It's such a cool moment, I think, when you see that transition. Bottoms, you can go a little bit more high-rise as opposed to the dramatic classics, but again, always keep in mind your proportions. Sometimes that can throw it off, so you will know how high you can go without it looking a little weird. But more importantly, you want to look for pants that hug those curves, that have a little bit more pleating in there, that just kind of sit on top of the curves, and a little bit of a softer material, not as strict as the dramatic classics. You want tailoring, but in a soft fashion. Wide leg would look really beautiful on a soft classic, but you don't want it in any extreme, so just a slight flare would be beautiful. That kind of honors the curves there. That or a straight fit looks really nice. And for your jeans, keep them good quality, meaning no rips, no holes and raggedy, and especially on the bottom part, you do not want that to be all frayed. It's just gonna not look clean on a soft classic. Keeping the hem of the pants just above your ankles looks really nice. This can go for men and women, but you can kind of play around with those proportions depending on your own proportions. A softer chino pant on a man, ah, yes. For skirts, you want to go for a short. You can go a little shorter than your dramatic classics because you typically are a bit shorter than a dramatic classic, and that with your proportions looks really great. Or a midi skirt, but again, you can play around with your comfort level there. The more important thing is that there's a little bit of softness there. There's a little bit of flow, not any extreme, just slight flowiness, slight feminine movement. You definitely don't want narrow and straight and stiff. Wrap skirts again are really beautiful, but just keeping a little bit of that flow in there, not too coming inwards. You want it to come outwards a little bit more. Shorts, you want to keep them a little bit puffy, like almost like a paper bag pant, which you can wear in pants as well, but in a short fashion so that your waist is cinched, and then there's just a little bit of movement. They're slightly tailored. That looks really nice. You can do that in different fabrics too. There's jean ones for a little bit of a cooler or more relaxed vibe, and then something kind of like in a suit material, but again, nothing too stiff. You can actually find materials that have a little bit of silk in them that they'll move a bit more. Dresses, choose dresses that have tailoring, yes, but with soft edges. So that's like a little bit of frill around your arms, maybe a slight flow near the bottom. A lovely wrap dress is nice on anyone that has curves. Just as long as it all emphasizes the waist, it's all good. A soft buttoned up shirt with like maybe a little bit of a puff sleeve is beautiful. And because you have less width than a natural, you can actually find like puff sleeves that are a little bit tight around here, but you can play around with that depending on how much softness is in your arms. It could sometimes be a little restrictive, but just a little bit of tapering at the end of a sleeve is really beautiful on a soft classic. Keep it midi length, but again, that's to your own devices, meaning depending on your proportions, you can go a little shorter if you're more on the shorter side. I think that looks really nice. Just above the knee is a really nice length. You just really want to avoid anything too tight and too oversized, or too straight, or too narrow. Outerwear, for jackets, keep them not boxy, keep them with that flow, a little bit of shaping, tailored but soft. So softly structured is kind of the word that comes to mind. You want it to slightly follow your softness around your body without it being too tight or too flowy and too, unconstructed even. You definitely don't want unconstructed. Circular collars would look really beautiful. Men who have those drawstring in the hip area or like that waist area, those kind of jackets, they're often seen in like hunting jackets in the English countryside. Those would look really beautiful. So you want coats to be in that kind of A-line frame, not too long, not too short, just a nice moderate length, and waist, waist, waist. Accessories for the soft classics. I've said this in a few videos, but I don't really care as much, I don't know how else to say that, about accessories for the body types. Because sometimes your essence drives most of that. But on the whole, for a soft classic, you want to keep things slightly structured with soft edges. So bags that have like a rounded edge, but with some structure. Delicate jewelry that has rounded shapes looks really beautiful. High quality jewelry would look really nice, but minimal. You want bags that are not oversized, but more like a medium-sized bag and nothing really petite. Shoes, you opt for more classic shoes like loafers, flats, Oxfords, and keep that toe rounded, not pointy, not blunt. Just a reminder that your body type is just one out of the 3 components that kind of make up your entire style. So keep that in mind to not just run out and buy all things in your lines without considering your personal essence or your coloring. Very, very important things to consider when going shopping. And that's it. That's soft classics in the bag. I hope this video was really informative for you. Please let me know down below if this is your body type or you feel you might be this body type. Always find this interesting. Even if it's not your body type, I still want to hear what body type you have, because I like knowing. I like knowing what's out there. If you're having any trouble figuring out your body type, your coloring, your essence, and so on, I've got lots of services available online and in person if you're in my area. All my information's down below or in all my links. You can also email me and that information will be below as well. All right, I hope you all have a beautiful and stylish day.